Smile Room. It starts with a normal door appearing in an abandoned hospital or a forgotten basement. It looks like a simple storage closet or a small office, but the moment you step inside, the trap is sprung. The door is not wood or metal. It is a horrific gateway that slams shut and locks exactly 6 seconds after entry. As the lights flicker, the walls begin to shift, revealing that the room isn't a room at all, but the throat of a massive supernatural predator. It opens into a dark, pulsating gullet with rows of jagged, human-like teeth set with pure red gums. On July 27, 2006, 2 teenagers vanished without a trace in rural Canada, leaving behind only a single blurred photograph. The image showed a doorway transformed into a screaming mouth. This entity is not a simple monster. It is a living wormhole connected to an unimaginable creature. Once the victim is pulled deeper, they are sucked into its digestive void where stomach acid slowly dissolves them over days. The bridge worm. If you're driving alone at night and notice a pale figure huddled under a bridge, do not slow down. The bridge worm is a master of biological deception and is often mistaken for a mourning woman or a stray animal from a distance. Its primary face is smooth, having a white mask with 2 black pits for eyes and a small mouth. But this is not the real skin. When a victim steps within reach, the creature sheds its innocence. The white mask peels back like a hood, revealing a secondary nightmare face with a massive red muscular skull filled with rows of needle-like teeth and 2 large eyes that glow with predatory intent. Sightings of this entity date back to 1993, when a series of hikers vanished near highway overpasses in the Pacific Northwest. Unlike other predators, the bridge worm is a long-range burrower, capable of stretching its segmented worm-like body through concrete cracks and drainage pipes to snatch prey from moving vehicles. Once the victim is caught, it retracts its body into the deep shadows beneath the bridge, where it slowly consumes them whole. Mr. Trashbag. Mr. Trashbag isn't a ghost, but a biological scavenger that inhabits the darkest, most overlooked corners of domestic life. It stands at nearly 7 feet tall, though it rarely stands fully upright, preferring to hunch and wobble. Its body is entirely encased in a thick, moist, black plastic-like membrane that constantly secretes a viscous, oily fluid. The only part of the creature that remains uncovered is its eerily relaxed human face, its eyes wide and vacant as if it is perpetually drifting between states of consciousness. The first documented encounter occurred in 2012, when a homeowner in suburban Ohio discovered a leaking bag in his garage that pulsed in time with his own heartbeat. The creature doesn't hunt through brute force, it hunts through displacement. It glides across floors with a sickening liquid sound, seeking out isolated victims to wrap them in its own suffocating membrane. Once inside, the plastic folds back, and the victim is slowly absorbed, their mass becoming part of the creature's ever-growing body. Siren Head. Imagine standing in a vast open landscape where you can see for miles in every direction. There is a sense of safety in the distance until you notice one utility pole that doesn't quite match the others. It stands at an impossible 40 feet tall. It has a rusted skin stretched over a skeletal frame that sways slightly against the wind. As you stare, the pole begins to move. 2 massive sirens fuse to its neck and angled in different directions, as if it's constantly scanning its surroundings and emitting a low frequency that vibrates in your very bones. If it scans you from across the valley, then there is nowhere left to hide. This entity is a master of acoustic mimicry, capable of broadcasting the screams of past victims or the distorted voices of your own family members to lure you into the open. The first documented encounter dates back to 1966 in the Arizona desert, where a family vanished, leaving behind only a car with its doors wide open and a tape recorder filled with mechanical shrieks. Unlike a normal predator, Siren Head doesn't just hunt. It stands perfectly still for days, masquerading as a dead tree or a telephone mast, waiting for a victim to wander within reach of its elongated clawed arms. Once it captures a target, it emits a high decibel blast that can rupture internal organs instantly, leaving nothing behind but the sound of a fading siren in the wind. The Needle. It isn't an entity you see coming from across a valley. The Needle is a horrifying parasitic hunter that favors the tight, suffocating corners of urban sprawl, narrow ventilation shafts, and the cramped spaces behind drywall. Unlike other entities that tower over their prey, the Needle is unnaturally thin, measuring nearly 7 feet in height but barely 4 inches in width. Its skin is a pale, translucent gray, stretched so tightly over its bone-like frame that it looks less like a creature and more like a jagged splinter of reality. It was first documented in 1998 when a series of apartments reported hearing a high-pitched metallic scraping. Once its victim is asleep, the Needle extends its thin, razor-sharp limb through the smallest gaps in the architecture, silently piercing the skin to inject a paralytic fluid. Once the victim is paralyzed, the creature begins to slowly widen the crack in the wall, pulling the occupant into a hollow, dark space between the studs where they are fused into the building's foundation. By the time the occupant wakes, they are already anchored to the wall. The Behemoth. Imagine looking toward the horizon, expecting to see the curve of the Earth, only to realize the sky is actually a wall of pulsating, translucent flesh. The Behemoth is a titan of such impossible scale that its head brushes the edge of the exosphere, standing at a confirmed 800 kilometers in height, and its weight is estimated to be over 12 quadrillion tons. It does not walk upon the world. It straddles it. It looks like a biological machine the size of a continent, its footsteps not just causing tremors, but triggering magnitude 9 earthquakes that rewrite the maps of the world. The first true evidence of this entity came in 1999, when global positioning satellites began to fail as they physically collided with the creature's upper torso in low Earth orbit. Its movement is so slow that a single step can take 3 days to complete, yet the displacement of air in its way creates hypercanes with wind speed exceeding 400 miles per hour that can level cities in seconds. If the sky turns a bruised, organic red and your barometer drops into the negatives, don't seek shelter. There is no shelter from something that touches the stars.